Welcome to my September edition of my magazine that's out now. I'm happy I give these out free of charge actually, and I really enjoy creating this magazine and I enjoy working with people, and I hope this comes over. So I essentially work with people with dementia, and but this is aimed not only at them but their families. This magazine, sort of dementia community, really, and it's essentially about people. So I've tried to. I'm kind of making fun of myself. It's horrendous how we can get labelled at school, as being a dunce, and I'm kind of making fun of myself. And there I am with my old school tie on. So there you go. Um, so first page, we got welcome. And I kind of reminisce a bit. I talk about a teacher who had a positive impact on me. And I used to go and visit this elderly lady and do her shopping and gardening for her. And there's an example of what her house looked like. She had an old-fashioned coal range that you only see in museums nowadays. So just shows how old I'm getting. One of the most delightful people I work with is called Carol. And something quite exciting happened in that in my last edition, I had a story about one of my people who served on an aircraft carrier. And lo and behold, Carol's dad also served on that aircraft carrier and was in the photo that I showed, which was really exciting and prompted her family to contact me. And the result is, out of an interesting chat, is a talk about Carol, how she went as a £10 POM to Australia. And when they got there, her and her husband thought, no, we don't fancy that. And they came back and they run various pubs, lovely pubs around. You might recognise the Barge, it's one of them at Hertford. And I talk about what life was like running these pubs, and overall how really positive she felt about it. This pub here is called the Silver Fox, was named after her husband, who was quite elusive at times, and that's why he was known as the Silver Fox. I often have a section, and I'm quite keen that families have nice family time, and I point out what things are coming up in September and what special days there are and places to visit. And here's one here that's not too far away in Buckinghamshire, is a museum, Roald Dahl Museum, which I think is absolutely charming. And in it, it's got his writing shed that he used to write in. Goodwood Revival, International Day of Peace coming up. And then I recommend locally at Waltham Cross / Waltham Abbey area is the Olympic white water rafting place where they did all the canoeing and Olympic Games there. And the public are free to go and visit, and I recommend it as quite an interesting day out. They kind of use these rafts now for team building events, and it's quite nice. You kind of see the managing director being thrown off the boat. I'm kind of joking, actually. And talking of jokes, I've got some primary school jokes. So this edition is back to school, you see. But before that, we get back to school stuff. I talk about what happened in September's previous years. So the 4th of September 1962 was the first time the Beatles did a recording in EMI Studio, Abbey Road, and all sorts of events that happened. You can see the Twin Towers. The 28th of September was the 1066, the Normandy landing. And I kind of like doing interactive stuff. So here is a quiz that's quite humorous. I've put ridiculous answers down, just really to try and steer people in the right direction, but also to have a bit of a laugh. I got kind of a sweeties and chocolates bars word searches. A lot of people love doing word searches. At one time, I used to come in and talk about school, and I had these badges actually, and I could put it in my magazine saying, well, which of these apply to you, you know, and quite fun. And then here, I put lots of, we're talking about primary school here, and we're talking about the games that we used to play in primary school. My generation, and I asked, do you remember these? And so the whole idea is to trigger memories, really. And I got some of my people together, Sheila, Sarah, Linda, Fred, Bill, Sue, and Val remember their primary school days. And I've written an article about it and what their teachers were like, what we used to play in the conkers and that, playing in the school lunches, what we liked and disliked about school lunches, and telling jokes and stuff like that. All quite positive memories of primary school. And I love these old jokes. You don't really see them so much now, but some of these had pages and pages of these in the catalogue. Unfortunately, the print's not that brilliant, but you got like a pretend spider, and you got pretend goofy teeth, and all sorts of weird and wonderful things that we used to play around with, all in old money there, 2 and 6. Problem page for me is really important, because I think it's important that the elderly appreciate that they have a lot of life experience, and people, I think they could offer really good advice. And so I've got a problem page for my readers, and I'm quite keen. I'm sure that many of them will have different opinions, but will have good advice to give these youngsters on the problem page. And we've got these magazines that we used to read. There's quite a lot in this. And we've got actual school report. Weren't they horrible, some of the comments they used to make? Must try harder and things like that. And we have got another word search, which people love. A questionnaire trying to prompt memories. What did you like about school? Who's your favourite teacher and stuff like that. And then on the back, what sweeties. We all used to eat loads of sweeties, didn't we? I used to love the fruit gums, me. But there they are. Flying saucers, rhubarb and custard. God, do you remember the sherbet fountains and so on? Anyway, if you would like a free copy sent to you by email, please, or in the message or whatever, please contact me and I'll gladly send one to you for you to print off for yourself, or you can read it online. Anyway, all the very best now. Bye-bye.